Hello, welcome to another episode of Storytime with Oscar. Sorry I didn't do it back then, but I had a lot of stuff to do. So we're getting back with Storytime with Oscar now, so we should be doing it on a good schedule now. So we are on chapter 11. So chapter 11, January the 3rd, 3 a.m. Swink slept through all that day and woke up in the evening. He had dinner and went back to bed, and no one knew what was wrong. That night he tossed and turned till at midnight he fell asleep. At 3 a.m. he woke up. "Swing," he said in a tired voice. Swing mainly just snored, but if you listen closely you would hear something. What? "I woke up and now I can't get back to sleep." "Go back to sleep," shouted Swing. Although he was loud, he was very tired. Swing jumped out of bed, ignoring what Swing said entirely. Although it was 3:05 a.m., he had slept for almost a day. He was ready. He was a bit loud. Swing came down to see. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Making breakfast," Swing replied. "Holy moly!" Holy moly is a weird reaction, but if someone made breakfast at 4 a.m., I would be surprised. "I don't want breakfast at 4 in the morning," said Swing. "Most people don't when they get 7 hours of sleep. Keep it hot, I'll have mine later." Swing ran off. Slowly roll, chanted Swing. "I'll be back at lunchtime," said Swing. No one would know the adventure he would have. Chapter 12, Swink's Adventure. As soon as Swink raced out of the bin, weird things were happening. In the garden he saw weird things, but it was probably his imagination. Not many people are up at 4:05 a.m. anyway. Swink kept walking. He was going to the big city of Leeds. Leeds is a 2-hour walk, so he woke up early. Finally, he got there at about 6:30 a.m. He saw the big city ahead of him. A morning breakfast cafe was opening. "Excuse me, but we don't open for 1 hour," said the worker. He stopped for a rest on a bench. He sat there for 10 minutes and then he saw Swing. "What are you doing here?" said Swing. "Chilling," he replied. "It's 6:40. "Oh yeah," Swing moved. "You can come in now," shouted the worker. The worker looked him in the eyes. It looked like her eyes were turning red, but it was his imagination. The worker ran after him and forced him into the shop. "I don't want to come in here." Swink rushed out of the door. What was this worker doing? Chapter 13, The Weird Worker. The worker grabbed £500 off him. "Hey," said Swink. In exchange for £500, he got 100 fish burgers. "Can I have my money back?" The worker gave the money to the other worker. "No," said the second worker. Yes, the worker's eyes were red. "Swink, you know me?" The first worker disappeared. "I know everyone," said the second worker. Swink ate through all the burgers, and when he was finished it was 8:30 a.m. and a crowd gathered around the shop. Swink rushed off. Swink got home but saw the first worker. "What are you doing here?" said the worker. "Excuse me, but this is my house," said Swink. That was the end of the worker. They both went to bed. Swink got 7 hours of sleep. Around 12, something woke them up. "My alarm clocks," said Swing. He realised it was school the next day. "Lunchtime," shouted Swing. Swink woke up. "I thought it was breakfast," said Swink. "We had 100 burgers for breakfast, remember?" "A bit," said Swing. Swing was making pizza today. "Pizza, yum," said Swing. Chapter 14, The Cursed Pizza. The pizza tasted a bit weird, but no one questioned it. It was usually like this. It wasn't different. He wanted to point it out, though. Swink started to feel a bit sick. He told Swing. "Swing, this tastes a bit weird," he said. "So what?" Swing sat down to eat, and he didn't like the taste either. It was indeed pointed out by Swink later as he said, "Not that I don't like this, it's just a bit weird tasting." This is not what he meant to say. He meant this is very disgusting, but he did not want to be rude. Swing said the same as well, and he meant the same. They both left most of their pizza and only ate small bits of it. Dinner that day wasn't very nice. Spoiler alert, everything he cooked after this was poisoned. For dinner he had more burgers. They left 23 of them from breakfast. Eating 25 burgers took them 45 minutes. Although that's quite long, it took me 10 minutes to eat one burger. At that moment, he realised it was almost bedtime. He needed to prepare. Tomorrow they were off to Mexico. Chapter 15, Journey to America. Most people live in North America, so it wouldn't be too many hours for them. Swing lived in Scotland, so it's thousands of miles off for them. Better set off, said Swing. Swing had packed the car overnight. Everything was ready. They set off to Mexico and were in the car and plane for 1 day and a half until they even got to North America. Now to go 1,000 miles south. They arrived on January the 5th in the middle of the night. It was very hot near the equator, so was Mexico, so they stayed as north as possible. It was a mistake going there, and they wanted to come back on the same day, so they tried to enjoy going to the beach, but Swing was annoyed, reminding them to wear sun cream. Despite them losing almost £1,000 in the past few days, £1,000 to go to Mexico and £500 for fish burgers, they weren't happy. Chapter 16. Finally, back in Scotland. By the chapter's name, you'd know they were going back to Scotland after 3 days in Mexico. When they got back, they did feel cold, but in Mexico it's way warmer than coming back. I can't believe we only had 3 days in Mexico. It felt like we stayed for longer. Phew, they said as they stopped at their house. They ran into the house to see Sid was there. He had disguised himself as a photograph. No, he was hiding behind a photograph. But hiding behind a photograph is dumb, so Swing found him. Aha! Shouted Swing in a mischievous voice. I suppose you found the truth, said Sid. I knew you'd figure it out, but now I've got a better plan. He teleported away quickly and quietly, soon to appear back. At Sid's lab, he is making poison stew, but weirdly, Swing could smell it. What's that smell? He said. Sid made a secret plan, said Swing. It's part of it. Chapter 17, Sid's plan. Sid's plan was to escape to another world. He wanted to explore Venus. Venus, 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 he muttered on. Luckily, Swing had always wanted to join NASA and explore the moon. Sid wants to go to Venus, so we are visiting the moon tomorrow. Tomorrow? The moon? Are you crazy? No, said Swing. They did end up going to the moon, but only once they found a rocket. However, Sid had already set off and was on his way to space. What? He's already set off? We need to catch up, said Swing. And so they did, but the rockets were expensive. There's a rocket dealership 3 miles from their home, and they drove there. We'd like a luxury rocket, please, said Swing. That's £1 million special offer. It has a fire that can go up to 30,000 miles an hour. Swing bought it because he's already a multi-billionaire. They went back home to practice on it, and it was good. There were 2 luxury bedrooms and 5 engines that could go up to 75,000 kilometres every hour. But sadly, that's where this story ends. But coming soon is a second book called Race to Space. But to keep you busy, here's a page about the author. About the author. Oscar Rizal was born on 29th of May 2013 in Wakefield, UK. He now lives in England and writes books like Robots, Ghosts and Dinosaurs series. He plays computer and Xbox One games all the time, as well as being a best-selling author. And that's the end for today. In a few weeks we'll be reading Chapter 2, Race to Space, which is where Swing and Swing race in the rocket against Sid to try and get to space and reach different planets. So that's the end for this video. So Like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.